My graduation party was supposed to be the happiest day of my life, the culmination of 4 years of sleepless nights and relentless hard work. Instead, it became the night my family utterly destroyed me. I was standing in front of 50 guests, proudly holding my hard-earned college diploma, when my father raised his glass for a toast. The room fell silent, expecting a proud speech. Instead, he looked past me, locked eyes with my older sister, who had dropped out of college years ago, and said into the microphone, "I look at this achievement, and I just wish it was you holding that diploma." The entire room gasped, the silence turning deafening as my sister smirked. But what my father didn't know, and what he was about to painfully find out, was that the degree in my hand had just unlocked a massive secret about our family business and his favorite daughter. Mans, some people are born with the innate ability to do absolutely nothing yet receive a standing ovation, while others have to sweat blood just to be noticed. I am Chloe. I am Arshaloop years old, and for my entire life, I have been the invisible daughter in our household. My older sister, Alyssa, was the undisputed golden child. She was beautiful, charming, and possessed an uncanny knack for manipulating our parents. It didn't matter that she had dropped out of college 3 years ago, or that she constantly crashed her cars and piled up massive credit card debts. To my father, she could do no wrong. I, on the other hand, was the quiet overachiever who spent 4 years locked away in the library, working 2 jobs to put myself through a grueling degree in forensic accounting. Tonight was supposed to be my moment of validation. The grand backyard graduation party was packed with 50 high-profile guests, wealthy family friends, and business associates. I stood on the decorated patio, smiling until my cheeks ached, proudly holding my hard-earned college diploma. But when my father stepped up to the microphone, raised his champagne glass, and publicly wished that Alyssa was the one holding my achievement, the world stopped spinning. The pitying stares from the guests cut deeper than any physical blow, while Alyssa smirked at me from the front row. They thought they had broken me. They thought I would just cry and run away. But as I looked down at my diploma, a cold, sharp focus replaced my grief. Manja, to escape the suffocating waves of fake pity and hushed whispers on the patio, I quietly slipped away from the crowd and retreated into the dim silence of my father's home office. The air in the room was thick with the scent of old leather and expensive cigars, a space built to project absolute financial stability. My emotions were completely numb, but my mind was firing with an intense, restless energy. My 4 years of specialized training in forensic accounting had taught me one fundamental truth: emotions lie, but numbers never do. Sitting at his heavy mahogany desk, I noticed the company's physical ledger and corporate laptop were left open. Out of a mixture of sheer distraction and professional curiosity, I pulled the ledger toward me and pulled up the live digital database. What started as a casual glance portfolio quickly turned into a deep clinical analysis. In less than 10 minutes, my eyes locked onto a series of staggering anomalies in the accounts payable section of his logistics firm. Hundreds of thousands of dollars had been systematically drained from the primary operational accounts over the last 24 months. The missing funds weren't losses from bad investments or market downturns. They were deliberate, highly calculated transfers disguised as routing maintenance fees to an unlisted third-party contractor. I traced the outgoing path and discovered the money was being funneled directly into a private offshore account. The sophisticated pattern of but whoever was behind it had left a microscopic trail of electronic breadcrumbs that practically screamed fraud. Thought his business was thriving, completely blind to the fact that someone he trusted implicitly was quietly and ruthlessly bleeding his life's work dry from the inside out. I leaned closer to the glowing screen, my fingers flying across the keyboard as I dove deeper into the digital audit trail. The perpetrator had been clever, masking the electronic transfers with fabricated invoices, but they had made one fatal mistake. They used a local network connection to authorize the transactions. I began tracking the digital signatures, routing numbers, and specific IP addresses attached to every single fraudulent transfer. My heart hammered against my ribs as the data compiled, expecting to find a rogue employee or an outside hacker. Instead, the final decryption sequence loaded, and the digital breadcrumbs stopped directly at our house. The primary IP address belonged to the wireless router in the upstairs hallway, and the device signature matched a specific high-end personal laptop. It was Alyssa's. My golden child sister hadn't just dropped out of college to find herself. She had been quietly and systematically robbing our father's company for over 2 years. I pulled up the secondary records and found the destination accounts. She had funneled nearly 700.000 mullers, leading to a private, undisclosed bank account to bankroll her lavish lifestyle, her designer clothes, and her secret luxury trips while letting our parents believe she was just struggling to find her path in life. She had been bleeding the family business dry while I was working double shifts to afford my textbooks. My father's favorite daughter was single-handedly destroying the company that paid for the very party she was currently celebrating. The ultimate irony washed over me as I copied the entire file onto a secure flash drive. The invisible daughter had just found the truth. More before revealing the staggering truth to the entire crowd outside, I needed to look the golden child in the eyes. I slipped out of the office and intercepted Alyssa in the quiet, shadowed hallway near the kitchen. She was holding a fresh glass of champagne, her face flushed with the adoration of the party guests. When she saw me, her smirk returned instantly. "What's wrong, Chloe?" she whispered mockingly. "Did Daddy's toast ruin your little spotlight?" I didn't flinch. Instead, I leaned in close and quietly laid out the exact details of the Seabuy Waters link she had systematically funded into her private offshore account, including her laptop's IP address. The mocking smirk on her face faltered for a fraction of a second, but she quickly recovered, letting out a soft, venomous laugh. She stepped closer, her eyes narrowing into slits as she dropped her innocent act entirely. "You think you're so smart with your little accounting degree," she hissed, her voice dripping with pure malice. "Go ahead and tell him. Who do you think he's going to believe? You, the boring daughter he ignores, or me? He loves me too much to ever look at your stupid spreadsheets. You'll just look like a jealous, pathetic loser trying to ruin my night." Alyssa turned on her heel and confidently sauntered back out to the patio, completely convinced her position, as the favorite made her completely untouchable. Her supreme arrogance was the final piece of the puzzle. She truly believed her lies could shield her from reality. I clutched the secure flash drive tightly in my palm, a cold smile forming on my lips. She was right about one thing. My father would never believe a spreadsheet if I showed it to him privately. He needed to see it in a way he could never deny. I walked calmly back out onto the crowded patio, the soft evening breeze rustling the graduation banners. The chatter of the 50 guests muted slightly as I bypassed my father, walked straight up to the center stage, and grabbed the microphone right out of the stand. My father froze, a look of deep annoyance crossing his face, while Alyssa watched me from the edge of the bar, raising her glass with a confident, daring wink. "Thank you all for being here tonight," I announced, my voice echoing clearly through the speakers. Since my father gave such an unforgettable toast earlier, I think it's only fair that the graduate gets to give a return toast to the family. I reached into my pocket, pulled out the secure flash drive, and slotted it directly into the media laptop connected to the party's giant projector screen, the one originally set up to play a boring slideshow of my childhood photos. With a single click, I overrode the system. Instead of baby pictures, the screen suddenly flashed to life with massive, high-definition copies of the forensic audit, bank statements, and corporate transaction logs. "I want to thank my father for paying for my forensic accounting degree," I said, smiling directly at him as the crowd began to whisper in confusion. "Because tonight my education officially paid for itself. I'd like everyone to look at the screen. These are the detailed records of the last 2 years of our family company's finances. And as you can see, someone has been systematically embezzling hundreds of thousands of dollars from the business. The backyard patio went completely ice cold as the 50 high mice. Profile guests stared at the massive projector screen in absolute disbelief. My father's irritated expression instantly dissolved, his face turning a sickly, hollow pale as his eyes raced across the corporate bank statements and the undeniable electronic audit trail. He didn't just see numbers, he saw the definitive, hard evidence of his life's work being methodically dismantled. Alyssa's confident posture shattered in a single second. She violently dropped her champagne glass, the crystal smashing against the stone floor as she scrambled toward the laptop, screaming for someone to turn the screen off. But it was far too late. If you look at the top right corner of the database log, I continued calmly into the microphone, my voice echoing over her panicked shouts. You will see the exact digital signature, the private routing codes, and the home IP address used to authorize every single fraudulent transfer. And right below that, you'll find the matching offshore bank account registered under the legal name of his beloved golden child, Alyssa. A collective gasp rippled through the wealthy family friends and business associates as they watched the deception crumble into dust. Alyssa began weeping hysterically, turning to our parents and spinning wild, nonsensical lies, but the cold, clinical data on the screen left absolutely no room for denial. My father slumped into a nearby chair, looking like a man who had just lost everything, completely broken by the ultimate betrayal of the daughter he cherished most. I walked over to his table, picked up my leather-bound diploma, and gently placed it right in front of his shaking hands. "You finally got your wish, Dad," I whispered softly. "I just hope she enjoys holding it as much as I did." It took less than 72 hours for the devastating reality of that public unmasking to completely dismantle our family dynamic. Confronted with the undeniable electronic audit trail and facing immense pressure from his corporate investors, my father had no choice but to initiate a formal internal investigation. Alyssa's lavish, unearned lifestyle dissolved in an instant as her private bank accounts were frozen, her designer assets were seized, and she was forced to enter a strict, court-mandated legal restitution program to avoid serving significant prison time for corporate grand larceny. My parents' suffocating pride completely collapsed, and they finally stopped looking down on my quiet choices, though I didn't stay around to watch them pick up the shattered pieces of their favoritism. Instead of saving a company that had ignored me for over 2 decades, I packed my bags and accepted a highly lucrative corporate fraud analyst position at a prestigious firm across the country. My forensic accounting degree didn't just expose a thief, it bought me my absolute freedom. Now, I am incredibly curious about all of you who have stayed to listen to my journey until the very end. What would you have done if you were standing on that patio and heard that devastating toast? Would you have publicly exposed the truth right there at your own graduation party to break the illusion? Or would you have handled it privately to protect what was left of your family?